Hello everybody and welcome back to a new mod showcase. Today we'll be covering someone called Trojan. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a very well-known mod creator. He's made many a mod, especially for Khorne, but you know, he daddles with other chaos demons every now and again, but mainly Khorne. He's got quite a few big ones, including like a couple of like full compilations, but if we was to do one of them, I'd be here for like 2 hours. So I thought what would be good is over the next couple of weeks, kind of split them down a little bit. We'll cover like one big group together and then maybe another big group together, because they all look incredibly good and incredibly fun to play. But there's literally hundreds of different things this guy has added to Khorne. So I think what would be a cool one to start off with is the lizardmen of Khorne, the ruined hunters. So these boys are a lizardmen roster being Khornified and now hunting for skulls for Khorne instead of obviously trying to claim back the sacred temples in lizardmen lands Lustria. They start off in a bit of a weird position, but you know, we'll get into that when we actually get into the proper mod showcase. I will start off with formalities. If you do enjoy this video, please do leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and as ever, the mod will be in the description below, so please do go check it out if this is something you are interested in, as well as all his other mods, because there is absolutely boatloads. If you're a lover of Khorne, or if you just want to spice things up, then this is the one for you. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start off with the campaign side of things then, with the naughty lizardmen here. So he plays very similar to what a normal lizardman faction would. He does have access to pretty much everything Skull Taker would have. So, for example, down here, if you look at like the different things he's got down here, he's got the Skull Throne, lovely jubbly, all the different attributes again Skull Taker would have. He's got unholy manifestations, because obviously he's a Khorne faction. So obviously, depending on if he's playing the game, he's got the Great Game Ascendancy in his side, or just if he's got the generic one, he'll have the possibility of buffs and stuff like that, just like Khorne would, any other Khorne faction would. And he also has rights here, so similar to what Khorne would as well. Use skulls and you can perform different variety of rights. So yeah, nothing too crazy there. In terms of what he can actually recruit, so let's have a look. If you click on here, he's got 4 different lords, but 3 of them are like pseudo legendary lords. So we'll start off here with the decimator alphas. So these are Kroxigor ancients, but obviously Khornified. So yeah, looking lovely jubbly. Again, as ever with these mods, we will show them off in Skirmish v AI and actually have a look at them in battle. We've got the Slaughter Warden here, which are your Saurus veterans, legendary lords, which are again looking lovely jubbly. I do also like that they've got lizardmen-ish names, but then like Khorne endings. Crimson Reaper, Scarbrass Bloodsmith, Mahol, Crimson Reaper, I like it, I like it. God, Rot Sword. Ugh. Okay, maybe not, maybe not very lizardmen-y. Here, Lord of Rivals, really cool name, bro. You've got your frog people. What are they called? Slans. You got your slans, which you can recruit as obviously Khornate versions, which is looking lovely. There is no lord which can be a skink except from this one in particular, the Bloodfire Assassin. So again, these are pseudo legendary lords. They bring specific benefits. For example, here he brings loads of benefits to the Khornate skink units you can get, but outside of that, probably you don't want to use them for anything other than that. You do have a pseudo slan lord, legendary lord here called the Blood Scorched Elder. Again, just kind of giving you faction-wide buffs to upkeep, recruitment costs, and unit experience, which is really nice. And then you've also got the Infernal Slayer down here, which is going to give you really good debuffs when fighting in the region. So as you can see there, leadership, melee attack, and charge bonus down for the whole entire province he is in. So yeah, really naughty there. If we look over here, we do actually have some quests which popped up. So we've got the Scarred Brute, which unlocks a hero, which is another pseudo legendary hero. We've got the Blood Flame Prophet, which again is another pseudo legendary hero. And then we've also got the Reaping Skymaster, which again is another pseudo legendary hero. We'll show you them all again in battle. I can't really show you here right now. There's no way to actually bring them up or have a look at them. But yeah, really cool nevertheless. Having a look at heroes as well, this one's greyed out. I'm going to assume they might not have a third option, but they do have the Blood Barb Assassin there, and they also had the Blood of Flame Priest there, which is looking pretty nice. Clicking on here, I'll show you quickly. So he owns the Horntide province, but you do start at war with Boris, and your garrison is in absolute shambles. So expect Boris to be able to take a couple of your land, and probably want to go try and take him out as soon as you can, to be fair. Having a look here then, so if we actually hover over here, you can actually see what kind of stuff we get. You do actually get access to your landmark, which is quite nice. Opens a portal to the South Pole and Brass Keep. This could be a good option actually to build as soon as you can to get down to Lustria, because I feel like it would be quite a thematic campaign to go slap some lizards as the coordinate lizard faction. And then here in the basic military buildings, you can see all the different boys you can get. Oh, there you go, Blood Veteran for Khorne. So I think there is a third hero you can get there. Blood Flame Priest, the Skink hero. So yeah, okay, there is a third one. It's just grayed out probably until you actually unlock the building for them for whatever reason. So yeah, you've got your Saurus building, very much just like lizardmen. You've got your Skink building, and then you've got your Dinosaur, like, well, Kroxigors, Dreadsaurians, stuff like that. Here, advanced, we've got your, oh god, whatever these are. They're not Blood Servants. Oh, what are they called? Razordons and stuff like that. That's it, I think. Yeah, I want to say Razordons and stuff like that. In that tree, you've got your Pterodactyls and... do I say Pterodactyls? Ripperdons and stuff like that. And your Dinosaurs in this one, or at least your Bastildons and stuff like that, as well as the Blood Barb Assassin. In this one, you've got your more staunchy boys, so you've got your Stegodons, stuff like that. Your Troglodons, or whatever they're called. I can't actually remember what I think they're called, Troglodons. I'm ashamed because I play lizardmen all the time, so I just don't really recruit this unit. And then here you've got your more elite units of Temple Guard alongside this Saurus Knights. But here, they're Knights of Khorne, which look absolutely glorious. Outside of that, I think that is pretty much all we've got to really show for his campaign mechanics. He plays just the same as a normal Khorne Lord. He does actually have access to a like kind of pseudo scrap mechanic. So here we've got the skulls instead of scrap to obviously buff up your boys. So again, really nice. Obviously you can make some proper powerhouses. But in general, yeah, nothing really to write home about in terms of his actual campaign mechanics. He's just going to play very similar to what you would expect from a Khorne Lord. That being said, let's get into the showcase of the units and lords and everything this mod has to offer. Let's go. Okay, so here we go. We've got absolutely boatloads to show you in this, and I assure you this isn't everything. I hope you will be happy with the fact that I split this up into multiple different videos, because if I covered all of his coordinate factions, all the Trojans' coordinate factions, all together, we'd be here for a very long time, considering this isn't all of the lizardmen. So, running through things, we'll kind of show you off the models, because the models are absolutely glorious in all their glory. Yeah, I'll let you have a look at stats, and we'll kind of run through their main takeaways. Outside of that, I'll let you explore and indulge in all the coordinate glory these boys have to offer. So starting off then, we've got the main boy here. I will tell you about some more of like the pseudo legendary lords in a second when we get to them, because they are themed, so we'll get to it. So starting off then, we've got the Ruined Hunter looking absolutely glorious. Look at him. Absolutely insane. Loving all the horns, the different skulls and stuff on his body. Looking absolutely beautiful. What a cool model. So this boy is your main leader of the lizardmen faction for Khorne. He is armoured with armour piercing, armoured, armour piercing and melee expert. Stats looking really good there. Bones feast large with his actual weapon strength there as well as melee attacks. Loads of different, I'll hover over these as well so you can pause if you'd like to. Loads of different active abilities for him to just hammer things down. These ones especially, the Deathbringer, Bloodthirster, Mace of Ruin, stuff like that. All is going to make him an absolute powerhouse. Moving on, we've got the Blood-Scorched Elder. So this is basically Mazdamundi, but in Lizardmen Coordinate form. So yeah, looking at stats, again, nothing too crazy. He does have Blood Flame there on his melee attacks, along with magical attacks and flame attacks. He's got Blood Flame rituals. By harnessing the power of bloodshed on the battlefield, a Blood Flame priest can perform dark rituals to empower, hinder, or destroy. So yeah, he's got loads again of active abilities. Foe Seeker, obviously quite normal. Blood Flame's Curse, Shield of Blood and Fire, nice buffs there, protection buffs. Blood Flame's Ruination, Damn, Vortex Spell, not looking too bad, and Elder's Judgment. And then over here, he's got all of these runic magics as well, which is really cool. Actually, kind of nice, obviously taking theme from the dwarves there with the runes. But yeah, magic missiles, blood flame bolts, gaze of fire, direct damage, and like a weakening. So yeah, really cool. And then blood flame eruption. Some really cool things of a corrupted Mazdamundi. Moving on, we've got the corrupted Kroxigor. Looking glorious. What a what if scenario here. So the Infernal Slayer is all he's called. He's armored, armor piercing, anti-large, and a melee expert. Again, looking at his stats, looking pretty stonky. Flame attacks, as most of them will have. Bonus fees large and armor piercing. Loads of different abilities as well. Slayer's Barrage, the Spear of Wrath. Looking really nice, and of course Deathbringer and Bloodthirster. So really, really cool. Moving on, we've got the Kroxigor, the Bloodfire Assassin. Again, looking glorious. Don't worry about that disappearing there. Is that like, I was going to say like barbed wire wrapped around his little mace, his blow dart, sorry, thing there, isn't it? Wow, he looks absolutely astonishing. I love the redo of all these. It's like basically lizardmen want to go out on Halloween, and this is they all came dressed as the same thing by accident. So yeah, the Bloodfire Assassin, he's got scaling damage, stalk, and fire while moving, so he's just going to play very similar to Kroxigor, but of course with more Khorne-inspired things. Again, looking there, he's actually demonic. Sure, he's demonic. Have the others demonic? No. Mazdamundi is. Okay, Mazdamundi is, and so is he. He's actually demonic, kind of cool. He's got Master Predator, which gives him more range, less speed, less charge, but also gives him unspottable and snipe, so that's actually quite cool. And then Blood Piercer. Good AP, effective at close range, strong to be single unit. So basically, it's a magic missile, but it's going to do really good AP damage. Quite good for probably sniping laws and stuff like that. 176 damage just straight off the get-go. AP, flame, and magical attacks. Yeah, that's going to be quite nice. Active ability as well. So it's just on cooldown. That's really good. Like that. Moving on to your generic lords then, you've of course got your normal Slan, the Ancient Bloodflame Priest. Again, instead of whatever laws of magic they might normally have, they've got runic magic here instead, which gives you all manner of different things, very similar to what Mazdamundi's seen. And stats, yeah, looking alright. Very much empowered like Mazdamundi's boy. Mazdamundi is just slightly more powerful, more health, more melee attack, melee defense, and weapon strength. And a couple of extra abilities to boot here and there. But yeah, again, character model looking absolutely glorious. Moving on to the Kroxigor Ancient, looking again beautiful. Look at this boy, all charred and stuff around that, and his chest looks great. So this is the Decimator Alpha. He's armoured, armor piercing, and has anti-infantry. Again, looking at stats, not too bad. He's got a bonus for his infantry there on his melee attack, which is great, as well as AP, and flaming attacks as well on his melee attack, which is great. Have a look at abilities. He's of course got Deadly Onslaught, Foe Seeker, which are normal, and then Monstrous Nightmare, which removes terror, removes immune psychology, and removes fear. So basically, he's going to make everyone terrified of him, and he's going to make everyone around him not be terrifying. So yeah, really cool. I actually quite like that. So if you go up against someone who's like really strong with fear or terror, it just completely removes that trait, but then removes the immune psychology from others, so they are scared of him. That's really cool. And then finally, of your last generic lords, you've got the Slaughter Warden here, which is just your normal Saurus boy. Again, beautiful. I love the aesthetics, the golden glowy eyes, the blood red skin, the Khorne fiend, golden-esque armor all around him, looking great. If only it was canon. It's not, obviously. This is a very unlaw-friendly mod. I don't think the Lizard would ever fall to something like this. Oh, sorry for the awkward cut there. My family came in and I banished them to the Shadow Realm. So, yeah, this is your generic Saurus Lord, Slaughter Warden, looking really good. Having a look at stats there, as you can see, not too bad shielded, flaming attacks, and armor piercing on his weapon strength. So yeah, and of course it comes with a whole array of different active abilities as well. Shows some slaughter. That's actually really good. Wowee. Oh my god, that's so good. Wow. Only affects one person, one enemy, but if you put that on a Lord, man, is 18 melee attack minus 24 melee defense is insane, and getting tired quicker. Empowered by blood, so an actual healing thing as well, so that's really good, as well as leadership and vigor reduction, and then piercing charge as well, so nice on top of the charge there, speed and charge bonus nevertheless. Yeah, looking great. Moving on to our heroes. So there are 3 heroes which are generic, and then there is a couple of heroes which for whatever reason have all been split up, which are the rest of your legendary heroes, legendary lords but turned into heroes. So these are actually the ones you get from those missions I mentioned. We'll get into them in a second. So starting off with your generics, you've got your Bloodbarb Assassin, kind of like the Chieftain or whatever they are. I can't remember what they're called. But yeah, looking alright, anti-large, aquatic and firewall moving. Magical attacks on melee attack and range as well, and again comes with plenty of nice active abilities for use there. Hunter's Snare, Stalker's Concealment, 3 uses of that, not so bad. Nimble Escape, yeah, good. Does not damage friendly troops there as well, pretty good. Moving on to your generic hero, Saurus Boy, Blood Veteran of Khorne. Again, yeah, really nice, exactly what you'd expect from a Saurus. Khorne, looking really cool, to be fair. I love it. And yeah, he looks a bit paler than like some of the others. They look quite dark. He looks quite pale, so I like the change in his colour tone there. That's really nice. Armoured and shielded, armour piercing and anti-large, exactly what you'd expect from a Saurus hero. Again, plenty of active abilities, but pretty much all generic ones except from the Bloodthirst there. Colossal Strike, Foe Seeker, Deadly Onslaught. So yeah, nice. And then here we've got the Blood Flame Priest. There we go. So again, very similar, but more of a hero than the Lord. Obviously, going to have all of these rune magic abilities as what the Lord does, the Slan Lord, but obviously in skink form. And then some active abilities as well to go. Blood Flame's Curse there. Silenced. Wow. So you can silence. You can. Oh wow, that's really good. Only one use of it, but you can stop something from moving, silence them, and then negates magical weapons within the effect area. Wow, that's really good. You can only use it on a spellcaster, which makes sense. Yeah, that's really good. In terms of like stats, not too bad. He's obviously got the blood flame ability like the Slan does. Magical attacks, flame attacks, as most of them do. Yeah. A nice addition there. Moving on to your legendary heroes as we click underneath the map. We've got Tic-Tac-Toe, the Reaping Skymaster. Kind of hard to actually get hold of him here because he's obviously flying around. But yeah, actually looks really nice. I love his like curved sword there with like jagged tooth on it and stuff like that. That's really nice. Ripperdactyl looking beautiful as well. Yeah, just everything about this. It's so nice looking. I love it. Actually, have a look at his stats then. So it's Armor Piercing Frenzy and has Death from Above, obviously by himself, but has alright stats. If we look, hold on, make it so it stays. Yeah, alright, Flaming Magical Attacks and Armor Piercing. Yeah, not too bad. Active abilities, yeah, good. Drops Rock of Destruction. One use, obviously, with him holding it in his hands there. I say hands and his claws. Good damage, really good damage. Weak for his single unit, but if you can get him bobbed up, that's really good. Dazed effect as well. Bone Reaper's Savagery. Yeah, fine. Gives him Rampage, but gives him a massive buff on melee attack and weapon damage. And then Strike from the Skies. So you can use it on allied flying units, which is good. And it gives them an additional charge bonus and then just melee attack and base weapon damage, armor piece and weapon damage all around. So that's actually going to be really good to whack on things like Ripperdactyls and stuff like that. Yep, great. Here we've got the Scarred Brute. So this is Gorok. If Gorok was heavily mutated and, well, yeah, scarred, scorched, burnt to a crisp. God, he looks like he's been through some. Jesus Christ, Gorok. Yeah, so he's armoured and shielded, armour piercing, and he's a defender, of course, of which Gorok is. He's going to be sitting there and chilling, holding the line as best he can. So yeah, stats looking really good, obviously, for Gorok. Stand your ground, yeah, as you would expect. Fortify, so a nice healing thing there. Gives him more melee defense and damage resistance, but negates his weapon damage down. So it literally is just, you're not there to kill people, you're there to, wow. Yeah, hold the line, wow. That's kind of good. The speed minus 70 doesn't make too much difference because you're not actually going to really be obviously getting moving around on his Saurus anyway. Yeah, interesting. That's a really interesting one. The Shield of Defiance, a nice buff there with physical resistance, melee defense, and missile block chance, as well as unbreakable. So that's not too bad. And it affects all allies in range. That's actually insane. And then the Blade of Retribution. It imbues the weakened effect, and then obviously gives him a nice buff there. So yeah, not too bad. It's going to make him stronger in melee, but make anyone who's fighting against weaker in melee. So yeah, loving that. And our final Khorne pseudo legendary hero. Actually, this one is just a hero. The Bloodflame Prophet is of course Tehennowin. Bloodflame Rituals, so yeah, it's got the rituals down here, which is completely fine. Armor Piercing and Frenzy. When actually looking at his active abilities, again, stats not looking too bad. Stats, active abilities down here, he's got the Bloodflame's Curse, which is very similar to well, it's the exact same what the Bloodflame Priest has, where you can stop something from moving and silence them. Also had Bloodflame Sacrifice. So, okay, so yeah, that's similar to what one of the other Khorne boys have, where they deal damage to themselves but heals an ally. So, sure, yeah, that's fine. And then the Serpent's Fang there. Leadership, melee attack, and vigor reduction for himself or an ally. And then any enemies nearby, that's actually really good. And then any enemies nearby has the bonus of taking damage over time, and then less leadership and less melee attack. So yeah, all round, not bad. A really nice set of boys here, to be fair. Let's move on now to the unit showcase. We're going to kind of fly through these because there are absolutely boatloads to show you. So let's kind of quickly run as fast as we can through everything they've got to offer. Okay, so starting off then, we've got our lovely Khorne skinks here. Look at these boys, absolutely glorious. What I'll do is I'll just quickly run through what they have on their left here. I'll run through this, and then, of course, have the stats up. If you'd like to pause and have a look, be my guest. They do have demonic instability, so these are technically demon skinks, but sure, that's cool. So, yeah, they have a precursor missile, so these are chameleon stalkers of Khorne. Precursor missile, anti-infantry, and vanguard deployment. These are some of your early game skinks. Tier 2 with 90 entities. But yeah, looking absolutely glorious. Moving on, we've got your chosen skink cohorts of Khorne. So these are just your skink cohorts, but look at them. Look at those eyes. What? Sorry. I said look at those eyes and he dances around. Beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, this is your, well, early game skinks again. Tier 2, 120 entity count. Stats looking alright. Some magical attacks down. Fire, of course. Armor piercing. And he has a Frenzy as well as the armor piercing. So not too bad. Yeah, loving it. Moving on, we've got your skink cohorts of Khorne, but with dual weapons, which is actually hilarious to see them having 2 weapons in the hand. That's so funny. So they have 160 entities, which, yeah, is a big unit. Tier 2, so again, your early skinks, but most skinks are pretty early game anyway. Aquatic and anti-infantry, obviously, with the dual wheels there, looking really nice. Again, demonic, magical attacks, and anti-infantry, love to see it. Moving on, we've got a very dispersed and not very well coerced chameleon skinks of Khorne. They've got vanguard deployment, chameleon, aquatic, and fire while moving, which is actually really nice. Again, demons. They have an entity count of 90 and tier 2 as well. So yeah, not too crazy. I do apologise about kind of running through these, but I assure you there's loads to show you. These guys look really cool. So these are your skink cohort of Khorne. These look actually quite menacing. I'm actually kind of surprised. So they don't have a range. Oh, they do have a range. No, excuse me. Sorry, these are javelins. I was going to say, I didn't think they had a range, but yeah, never do. These are just javelin boys. I was nervous there because I didn't see anti-large and I thought they were just like a spear variation, but no, they're javelins. So yeah, shielded, aquatic, and they also do have the range as well. The range actually has blood flame contact effect as well as flaming attacks, which is actually really nice. And then when going into melee, they have magical attacks. So yeah, shielded as well. Love to see it. Moving on over here, we've actually got a regiment of renowned chameleon skinks. Look at these. Just absolutely gorgeous. I love the more like black and like hinted dark red kind of tinge to them. The eyes are obviously a lot more red as well. These guys are like Anakin fully turned to the dark side. Unseen Reapers, chameleon skinks of Khorne. They've got vanguard deployment, chameleon fire while moving, and sniping. Let's just quickly compare these stats to the normal variants. So yeah, the Regiment of Renowned has more leadership. They have more melee attack, more melee defense, and more missile strength. Outside of that, they don't really have too much. They have this. Is that it? No, we've got 2 different things. Sorry, I'm just trying to compare here. Okay, it's at that. So I've got snipe, yeah, that's fine. Obviously being able to shoot and then still remain hidden. And I've also got from the shadows, which gives them deceleration, acceleration, speed, vigor, and unstoppable, as long as no enemy present is in ability range. So basically it's continuously going. They're going to be so fast at actually getting around the map then, and doing obviously God's work at sniping boys and staying invisible, as long as no one's nearby. So yeah, they're really cool. A really cool Regiment of Renown. And that's one thing you will see is all the Regiment of Renowns have at least been redone, if not completely new ones. And then here we've got the Unkillable Host. These boys looking a bit more orangey yellow more so than the red or the black, as we've seen so far. But yeah, nice Regiment Renowned of chosen skink cohorts of Khorne. They are armor piercing, frenzy, and have unbreakable. And in comparison to the normal boys, which are here, they have more leadership, more melee attack, and more melee defense. And then also have, well, quite a few new abilities down there. So they are unbreakable. Just now they're on top of them. They're completely unbreakable, and they also have this ability here, which is Unyielding Resolve. So the more they have to be in melee, and effect increases proportional to the number of enemy units in range. So basically, the more in the shit they are, the better they get. So more armor up to 30, more melee defense up to 15, and damage resistance up to 10%. That's really good. So if he's getting the thick of it, of course the skinks, they're still not going to be, do you know what I mean, like outlandishly insane. But if he's getting the thick of it, they're obviously going to be able to hold out a little bit longer. So yeah, really nice. I don't know why I keep on sending them. I just flicked them back. Whoopsie daisy. So yeah, really nice. Moving on to other infantry boys, we've got, of course, the Saurus. So these are definitely taking a more darker skin tone than what the other boys have been. Kind of getting rid of the red and a lot more black. Kind of like molten cold lava. It's kind of, yeah, it just kind of gives me that like vibe where like lava cools down and you get that like weird like obsidian-y type effects on top when it cools. It's quite cool. So yeah, these are your spears variants of the Saurus warriors. They are tier 2, of course, but the Saurus are going to be absolutely slopping chops. Armoured, anti-large, primal instincts, not too bad. Anti-large, of course, down there, and the shielded effect there. So yeah, all round, of course, what you'd expect from Saurus warriors, tier 2, 100 entities, not too bad. Moving on to your normal generic Saurus warriors of Khorne. These are armoured, they have frenzy and primal instincts. Again, your tier 2, 100 entity Saurus warriors. Really not expecting too much of these boys. Not going to bring anything crazy to the battle, but they're still Saurus nevertheless. They're going to be absolutely hammering the enemies into the ground. Moving on to the naughty boys here, the Khorne Guard. These have dual weapons variant. There's 2 different variants here, so we'll go through dual weapons first. So these are tier 3 with 100 entities. Again, having a look at the models. Beautiful. Can't complain. Really can't complain. Yep, great all around. Armoured, armour piercing, and anti-infantry. Yep, nice. They also have flame attacks on the melee attack, and then of course have the AP and the bonus physical there. They do also have like the guardian effect, is it? Yeah, which gives them physical resistance to the Lord or Hero. Yeah, so they're going to be really good at obviously accompanying a Lord or Hero, especially like the slams and stuff like that, which makes a lot of sense. Moving on to your normal Khorne Guard then, so these are just your Temple Guard, but obviously demonified. They're actually not demons, funnily enough. These ones actually don't have the demon trait, but a lot of the skinks do. Sure. So yeah, Halberd Infantry, which... okay. Sure. Armoured and shielded, armour piercing, and melee experts. So these boys are going to be able to hold the line quite considerably. Tier 3, 100 entities. They've got all the different buffs there. Charge defense is large, charge reflection, the guardian traits. Yeah, some really nice ones. So yeah, lovely. And then moving on down here, we've got a couple of Regiment of Renowns. We'll start off with the Burning Goliaths. Again, absolutely great. And on top, their headpieces have been completely charcoaled. I love that one. Where did you go? Was it you? Look at that. That one's got like a proper like golden beak, and it's got like red eyes on top. That is such a cool helmet. I love that one. Wowee. Yeah, that is beautiful. Oh, yeah, nice. So yeah, Burning Goliath, Khorne Guard. So in comparison, if we just compare them back to our other boys, thank you, they have a little bit more leadership, a little bit more melee attack, and a little bit more melee defense. And they come with a couple extra bonuses. I say extra, 1. And it has this Unbreakable Rage. So as long as they're in melee, they have vigor reduction, so they actually don't get as tired. They actually goes down as long as they're in combat. They have damage resistance plus 10%, so they're going to be taking, obviously, a lot reduced damage, which is really good. And the unbreakable trait, so insane. That's actually going to be so cool. That's actually quite a unique one. So, like, as long as they're engaged in melee, so even after, like, arm losses, for example, as long as they're engaged in melee, from what this says, they shouldn't break off. Could you imagine winning a battle with these boys just purely because of that ability? That's really cool. I don't think I've actually really seen anything like that before. That's really cool. I'd love to see that more in the game. Kind of like a wild card. And then you've got the Brutes Legion here, the Saurus Warriors of Khorne with spears. So they're armoured and shielded, anti-large and armour sundering. If you compare them back to the other boys over here, they have, again, slightly more leadership. They actually have a contact effect, sundered armour, so that massive debuff to armour there, minus 30, looking really nice. They have a little bit more melee attack and a little bit more melee defense. They also have the Mark of Khorne for these boys, which is fine. Yeah, that's fine. Obviously going to get buffs and stuff like that. And then also here they've got the padded shields, which, as long as their leadership is higher than wavering, they have a much better chance at blocking missiles, which is great. Right, moving on then, let's have a look at some beastly dinosaurs. Of course, this is not all of them, but this is as much as I could fit in one showcase at a time. So over here we've got the Blood Serpents of Khorne. I forget which one these are. Are these your Razordons? No. I can't remember. There's two different variants, and I think these are your Razordons, actually. I always get confused. So, we're just going to call them what they are in this mod, and that is the Blood Serpents of Khorne. Again, another unit which I don't really use, even though I play lizardmen all the time. They are armor-piercing, aquatic, and with primal instincts. They have 32 in a group and tier 2, so quite early game units, not looking too bad there. Flame attacks absolutely out the wazoo, obviously on the range as well, and the Blood Flame on both melee attacks and missiles as well. AP is good, yeah, love it. Moving on to the next one, we've got the Skull Serpents of Khorne. Again, looking absolutely glorious, and I love the little skulls on top of their heads. I don't know who put it there, but yeah, I don't think they would have put it there themselves. Armoured, armour-piercing, aquatic, and with primal instincts. There's 32 again in a group, and they are tier 2. These actually are demonic, so yep, ripperoni when they actually start to crumble. They've got AP absolutely everywhere on both the weapons and missiles, and then magical attacks on both as well, which is, yep, lovely. Moving on to your more chunkier boys here then, you've got the Ancient Skull Serpent of Khorne. Looking at him, yeah, beautiful model. Loving the, like, tendril type things here, the spine spikes going down, and yeah, loving it. Armoured piercing, causes terror and primal instincts. He also counts as a siege attacker there, which is quite nice. Demonic as well, so be careful. AP out the wazoo. Armour destruction contact effect on missiles. So when he shoots whatever down range, he's actually going to do a debuff to them, which gets rid of 30 of their armour and 30% block chance, which is actually really good. That's really good. Again, I don't think I've really seen that before. Really nice. Bonus for these large and armor piercing, so definitely something to obviously take out of the large units. Magical attacks everywhere and armor piercing on his melee as well. Having gone to this thing literally is born out of a Khorne nightmare. Look at this. Absolutely horrific. This is the Ancient Blood Serpent of Khorne. He's armoured, armour piercing, and primal instincts. Tier 3, so not too bad. Have a look at his stats. Very similar to the Skull Serpent here, but instead of magical and AP, he's doing AP with flames, as well as the Blood Flame contact effects and stuff like that as well. So in terms of, obviously, what he actually provides, stats are slightly different, obviously comparing them to here, but they serve similar purposes, obviously just with different effects. Moving on to a Regiment Renown version actually here. This is the School Splitter. So this is actually a Regiment Renown of this boy. Excuse me, right? Oh no. Ancient Blood Serpent of Khorne. Yeah. So yeah, looking at him, armoured, armour piercing, causes terror, and primal instincts. He's definitely been through the ringer. Very scorched and burnt up, looking beautiful with the black and red there. I love the aesthetics. I love the colour schemes. Obviously, Khorne is very simplistic. Red, yellow, and orange, but black also complements it so nicely. Comparing stats, the base version actually has better range and better ammunition, but this boy is going to be hurling some godly abomination downrange. 1.3k missile strength is insane. Comparing the rest of the stats, he also does more melee attack, more melee defense, and a little bit more leadership. Yeah, God knows what on earth he is throwing downrange. That seems appalling. Have a look at like a new ability down here. He has Hawkish Precision. which as long as no one's near him, no enemy within range, he does also an extra 25% AP to his missiles. So, geez Louise, bonus fees large. He's going to be sniping some like giants and stuff like that. Ridiculously cool. Yeah, loving it. And then moving on to the other regiment renowned, we've got the Spawns of Fire. So these are your Blood Serpents of Khorne, which are these ones. So, having a look, again, armor piercing, anti-infantry, and primal instincts. They actually have a cool kind of unique contact effect here called Sundering Blood Flame, which actually gets rid of the income healing modifier, so less healing, which is nice. Weakness to fire plus 20, which is good. And then that reduction to armor. So yeah, really good, as well as damage over time. That applies on both melee and missile strength. Bonus for infantry on a missile strength, but not in melee, unfortunately, but they do have AP in melee. Comparing stats to their previous kin, they are actually really good in comparison. So they have more missile strength, they have more armor, more leadership, more melee attack, and more melee defense. And again, come with that sundered or sundering blood flame instead of the usual blood flame. So yeah, absolutely glorious. Really cool little Razordon blood packs here. Loving them. Moving on to the Terradactyl Ripperdactyl things, boys, over here. We've got the Sky Shredders of Khorne. Yep, what you would probably expect from a Khorne Ripperdactyl type unit, Terradon, yeah, whatever. Vanguard deployment, again, another unit. I play this faction an unholy amount. I completed so many campaigns, but I don't play tic-tac-toe. I hate tic-tac-toe. I rarely look at these units, I will be honest. Lizardmen have that much of a wide array of units, you just sometimes don't look at certain units. And this is one of them for me. Vanguard deployment, firewire moving, and definitely above. They are tier 2 with 10 entities, not too bad. Demonic, but obviously have the drop rocks of destruction. So yeah, what you'd expect from them. And then here you've got a regiment renowned version. Yeah, not too bad. The Raging Terrors. So if you compare them, they are armor piercing, vanguard deployment, firewire moving, and definitely above. If you actually compare them there, these have more range, but they have a lot more chunkier missile strength. They actually have the blood flame, bonus fees large, and armor piercing, which is actually really cool. Obviously, going to be able to get in and try and focus down like trolls and stuff like that. Probably a good one for these. They also have better leadership, more melee attack, and more melee defense. So yeah, all around, of course, flame attacks seem to be a given on everyone there. So yeah, not too bad. Moving down here, we've got some dinosaurs, but not all. We've got some Bastillodons and an ancient Stegodon there. We will cover the rest, do not worry. Starting off with the Troglodites, or whatever they're called. I can't actually remember. I think the Troglodites. We've got the Skull Hunter of Khorne. This thing looks absolutely beautiful. Where's its eye? Does it have eyes? What? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I messed up. Does it have eyes? Am I being simple? I don't know if it has eyes. I'm looking for its eyes. Oh well, it doesn't have eyes. It probably does, I'm just probably being dumb. It probably is there somewhere, but I can't see it. Yeah, so Skull Hunter Khorne, they're armoured, armour piercing, and have poison attacks. So yeah, looking at their... Oh god, look at the contact effects there. So, look at that. Hold on. Oh my god, so on melee, they have AP, Blood Flame, magical attacks, and flame attacks. And on their range, they have magical attacks, flaming attacks, Blood Flame, armour piercing, and bonus fees large. These boys are insane. But that's just a normal version. Obviously, this is a Regiment of Renown version here. They are demonic, so be careful of that. But they do count as a siege attacker. Some nice debuffs there. Buffs to the resistances there. But yeah, all around. Wow, wait. Here we've got the Burning Death. Slightly discoloured compared to the other one. Only very slightly darker. Slightly paler on the undertone. Whereas this is obviously a little bit more molten-y. A little bit more glowy. So yeah, they've got armoured. They've got Death's Embrace. And armour piercing. What does Death's Embrace do? Death fells all whom it touches, for you can't fight against your own demise. Okay, I'm not... Oh, there you go. Is that... Bloody hell, it's another contact effect. These boys, so the Burning Death has a new contact effect called Death's Embrace. There it is. So it does damage over time, 24 to 48, with melee defense -8 and melee attack -8 as well. It also spreads, which is really cool if it obviously gets in the middle of things. Having that Death's Embrace just basically make them weaker in melee is going to be great. Having a look at stats in comparison then, again, pause if you'd like to have a look at the stats. They have a lot more leadership, a lot more melee attack, melee defense, and missile strength as well, so all around not too bad. Rounding out this little showcase then of these boys, we've got the Demolisher of Khorne with the Blood Flame engine, which actually looks really nice. Have a look at stats there. Armoured, armor piercing melee, causes terror, tier 3. Obviously just one entity because he's not a normal boy. Blood flame engine. So instead of like a solar engine, it's actually going to make everyone weaker to fire, as well as giving a healing debuff there, which is really nice. They are demonic, so just be careful. Siege attacker all around, not too bad. Again, stats, bonus siege infantry, yeah, cool, on weapons. AP, magical attacks. And then you just have range, some range magical attacks, flame attacks, and then the blood flame contact effect. Yeah. Look at that thing on the back of him. Jesus Christ. Look at that. I love it, the Khorne symbols on all over the place as well. Yeah, great. Moving on to the Regiment of Renown then, we've got the Engine of Destruction, the Demolisher Khorne Bloodflame Engine. So yeah, armoured, armor-piercing missiles, and armor-piercing melee. Comparing stats then, I don't think he has... Okay, so it's the same, no? No, okay, Bloodflame Engine, Destruction Engine. So it's like, okay, it is the same, but it is basically stronger. It's stronger. And it affects all enemies in range. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Sorry, just had to move a little bit closer there. Looking at stats then, he's got, again, better leadership, better melee attack, better melee defense, and a little bit more missile strength there as well. Instead of the normal thingy Blood Flame, he's got Destructive Blood Flame, which again is just a stronger variation. So he is just this, but stronger in every which way. And then finally, we've got the Behemoth of Khorne. Look at this boy. Jesus. What we've got in the back, some skinks. Khorne skinks and this like little ballista thing here. Looks great. I love it. Absolutely love it. I love it like how his like little pauldron over here is obviously got Khorne inspired, but like it's got scratches and stuff down it, like he's been through some shit. With the golden mask around his face. Yeah, really good. Tier 4, obviously an count of 1. He's armoured, armor piercing, missiles, and anti-infantry. Yeah, looking absolutely beautiful. Missile strength, armor destruction there, bonus feast large, armor piercing, and weapon strength. Anti-infantry, sorry, bonus feast infantry and armor piercing there. So on lead up, he's going to be good, better at like taking down like cavalry or monsters, but when he gets into melee, he's going to be tearing infantry apart. So yeah, really nice. Siege attacker. He's not actually demonic either, so he will route and come back. Yeah, great. Let's move on to the second half of his roster then, because there's still plenty to show off. Let's get to it. Okay, so here we go. This is the second iteration of boys. We're going to hopefully quickly run through these. There's some naughty boys to show off here. Well, I say some, pretty much all of them. Yeah, there's still a lot to show off, so let's quickly try and run through these as quick as we can. Starting off with some cavalry units now. We've got the Blood Raptors of Khorne. Just look at them. Like, look at that one. Oh, God. I love it. Love it. Look at them. Oh, that one's got like a, like gauntlets on. Oh my god. I wonder if they've got it on in the base game, because I've never noticed stuff like that before. They're so cool. So yeah, looking at the stats, so these are tier 2, again, pretty early game. Not demonic, so they're going to be breaking off pretty quickly. I mean, leadership, yeah, pretty low actually, 55. Armoured, armor piercing, tier 2 with an entity count of 32. So yeah, not too bad for your early game cavalry. There is also these ones, the Alpha Blood Raptors of Khorne. These remind me of something from like World of Warcraft, I'll be honest. Like where the trolls are. Sorry, nerding out here a little bit. So you get tier 2 with 32 entity count as well. They're armoured, armor piercing, and anti-large. So yeah, not too bad. Kind of more specialised variation of the Blood Raptors there, but yeah, looking really lovely there. Moving on to your first mounted dinosaurs, you've got the Skink Riders of Khorne. So yeah, not too bad. Nice to see the Skinks getting involved with some dino on dino action. So yeah, armoured, Vanguard, again tier 2, but there's an entity count of 48 of them. Looking at the stats, not too bad. Magical attacks, armor piercing, they are demonic, so they will wither away this time round. But yeah, all round, not too bad. They've got the, is that the Strider? Yeah, good, good. Ignore terrain penalties and Vanguard deployments, so it's going to be really good. Again, early game, a nice unit choice there for you. Moving on to these boys, we've got the Blood Raptors Riders. Sorry. The Blood Raptor Riders of Khorne. Jeez Louise, that is a mouthful. So yeah, these are just your Blood Raptors with Saurus on the back of them instead of Skinks. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful looking, exactly what you'd expect. Tier 2, again, 48. These ones are a little bit more like faster, more nimble, going to get around, but not as heavy hitting. These ones are a little bit slower, but obviously going to be able to deal the damage a little bit more. Armoured and shielded, armour piercing, predatory senses, but don't have the Vanguard deployment. So that's obviously the benefit to the Skink Riders of Khorne there. So yeah, nice tier 2. Moving on to your first, I think first and maybe only tier 3 before we get onto Regiment Renowned. Oh no, don't lie. So we've got Blood Raptor, oh my god, Blood Raptor Spear Riders of Khorne. Wow. So yeah, very similar to obviously previous boys. These are tier 3, but only because they're just more specialised. So they're armoured and shielded, armour piercing, anti-lies, and have predatory senses. Again, in comparison, very similar. I mean, look at the stats there. Very similar. Just slightly more melee attack, slightly more weapon strength, and they have the bonus fuselage there. Oh no, that's what they have. They're actually a little bit weaker, but with the bonus fuselage, whereas these don't. So actually, kind of funny that. Huh. Go. So yeah, anti-large variant instead of like a normal variant. Moving on to your tier 4 boys. Looking at these. Looking beautiful in all the cladded armour. Yeah, loving it. Absolutely glorious. Look at them. So yeah, looking at them, tier 4, 48 entity count, not too bad. Armoured and shielded, armour piercing, and anti-infantry. These are going to be able to clean up shop real nice, especially against those. I mean, they're armour piercing anyway, but especially against like the likes of arch units and like artillery and stuff like that. Just going to be absolutely rip them to shreds. The only negative, of course, because they are Saurus on the back of fucking heavily armoured dinosaurs, is their speed is quite low for cavalry. So don't expect to be doing any cavalry chasing after cavalry or like dogs or anything like that. But after that, apart from that, not too bad. And then here we've got the Regiment Renowned, the Slayer's Horde. So these again are just your variants of these. Having a look at them, they have slightly more leadership, more melee attack and more melee defense. All round, not too bad. They also do have perfect vigor, which is really nice. And their character models, yeah, looking nice. Really nice, very similar actually in part to the other boys, but a little bit more crispy I think around the edges. So yeah, not too bad. Let's move on to some Kroxigors now and have a look at what they've got to offer for us. Okay, moving on to our Kroxigors then, looking at these boys, looking absolutely beautiful. Look at them. So we've got the Decimators of Khorne here. Tier 3 unit tier, I don't know why that took so much to come out. Enter count of 16 there, armoured with armour piercing and anti-infantry. Yeah, looking beautiful. I love the colour scheme here with the more of the white, obviously skulls on the faces, but then the black and red merged into the back there, looking absolutely fantastic. Stats, not too bad. Yeah, looking alright. Melee attack with flames, bonus for the infantry, armour piercing. Yep, not too bad. Looking at these absolute hellish abominations, then you've got the chosen Decimators of Khorne. Look at them. I mean, God knows what's happening here, I'll be honest. They are armoured, armour-piercing, predator senses, and primal instincts. Again, tier 3 with a unity count, entity count of 16. They have the standard armour melee contact effect, which is good. Flame attacks and armour-piercing all around, yeah. Counter siege checkers as well, so yeah, a nice, relatively early game. I think you might even spawn with a unit of Kroxigors. So yeah, quite nice for that. Moving on down here, look at these boys. These boys have gotten rid of the red near enough entirely. And they're just, yeah, lovely. So these are a Regiment Renowned Kroxigor unit. These are the Wardens of the Skull Throne. Just look at them. Damn. I love how, like, certain mods do, like, what-if situations like this. This is great. Skaven Clans mod I covered does a Cornate Skaven clan as well, so yeah, very similar, love it. So yeah, Wardens of the Skull Throne, Decimators of Khorne. They are armoured, armour piercing and anti-infantry. Comparing stats here then, they have a little bit more leadership, a little bit more melee attack and a little bit more melee defense. They also have an additional magical attacks on their melee, as well as immune to flanking and something else, the guardian effect. Yeah, cool. So yeah, going to be really nice to accompany a lord or hero. And then the immune flanking, yeah, just means that they take no penalties when getting attacked from any direction, which is great. Moving on to a couple more dinosaurs here. I've kind of broken up dinosaurs into two different parts. So we've got these four here, we'll cover them now. So these are the rest of the Bastildons. We've got the Feral Demolisher of Khorne, so this is your very lowest tier. We've already covered one of the Bastildons, but these are the other two. So having a look at stats here, yeah, stats looking great. Armoured, armour piercing, and causes terror. Not too bad. It actually doesn't have the rampage type thing it normally has. It is demonic, but it doesn't actually have the rampage, so it won't just break out randomly, despite being feral. So yeah, good. good. At least I don't think it does. It means flanking. Nice. Looking here, we've got the Demolisher of Khorne with the Bloodflame Crystal. Yeah, Revivification Crystal. Look, yeah, that's great. Armoured, armor piercing, causes terror. Stats, yeah, really good. Magical attacks, bonus to infantry, armor piercing, flame attacks on range, magical attacks on range, plus flame on range, yeah, really good. And then down here, yeah, the Bloodflame Crystal, it heals only a little bit, but heals and replenishes dead combatants as well to units. So yeah, and also makes them a little bit less tired. So 7 uses of that, perfect, really good, really nice. Yeah, everything about it, loving it. All the different like horns and like stuff like that. Really like it. Really like it. All the different spikes and stuff on them. Yeah, great. Moving on to these boys. These are quite aptly named Dinosaurs. This, oh my god, this looks great. I love the red and white here, like the white effect on his face. So this is your normal Dinosaur. So having a look here, he's armoured, armour piercing, and anti-large. He's pretty fast, obviously, for a big boy. 75 speed, not too bad. With a bonus to his large and armour piercing bear to his weapon strength. So yeah, looking really good. Pretty much what you would expect from the Dinosaur, or Carnosaur, but yeah, Dinosaur. And then of the Regiment Renowned, again, this thing looks glorious. A little bit more, I mean, the black and gold. Very like Arbor aesthetics there. Yeah, this is nice. This is the Hunter's Favourite, he's called. He's armoured, armour piercing, anti-large, very similar again. If you compare the stats here, a little bit more leadership, a little bit more melee attack, and a little bit more melee defence. He does also have 2 additional things. He has this thing here called Primal Rage. So as long as his leadership is higher than broken, the effect intensity increases with time spent engaged in melee. So as long as he's in melee, the better he will get stats wise. And the stats are bonus to speed up to 25%, bonus to base weapon damage up to 25%, and bonus to armor piercing up to 25%. So yeah, really nice. And he also has Rage as well, which, yeah, great. Enabled if in melee and leadership's either broken, and again, it increases with time spent in melee. So both of these are going to be increasing at the same time, which is insane. Which is going to give him a bonus to melee attack to up to plus 15, a bonus to leadership up to plus 10, and a bonus to physical resistance up to 10%. So yeah, really good. Both of these are going to be ticking away as long as he's getting into the nitty gritty. So yeah, really good. If you use that to go against some weaker targets first, like maybe Empire Swordsman or something like that, and then use him to go after the heavier targets, really good. Really good. Moving on to a couple more flying boys now, quickly. We've got, again, Quetzal. Oh god, I don't know what this thing is. Again, another unit I tend to avoid when playing as lizardmen. I'm a traditionalist, and this is not something I would normally use. So this is the Winged Bloodflame Serpent of Khorne. All round, I mean, it looks glorious, but it doesn't stay still. Constantly, like, picking fleas out of its feathers or whatever it's doing there. Stop it. It's armor piercing, anti-infantry, and has flame attacks. It's a tier 4 entity, which isn't too bad. Having a look at stuff, it's got some nice active abilities here. The Bloodflame Eruption, which is a bombardment spell, and a Bloodflame Gaze, which is a Spirit Leech type thing by the looks of it, direct damage. So yeah, nice there. Stats, good melee attack, magical attacks, flame attacks, and Bloodflame, yeah. And then of course with its weapon strength, it has AP and bonus to its inventory as well. So yeah, good, really good, liking it, loving it. Yep. Nice little additional monster bear. Actually, probably a little bit more useful than its base game version. Here we actually have now the Ripperdactyls. I call everything Ripperdactyls, but I know these actually are Ripperdactyls. So we've got the Blood Shredders of Khorne. So yeah, looking really nice actually. I love the little like helmets, like jaw pieces they've got on. This one's a bit more like got a full thing going on there. So yeah, loving it. Stats wise, tier 3, entity count of 10, demonic. Ripperoni, armor piercing, anti-infantry, and frenzy. Yeah, not too bad. Flame attacks and magical attacks, bonus to his infantry, and AP as well down in melee. So yeah, really good. Loving it. And moving on to these. These actually have a cool kind of colour scheme. They're very pale. These are the Flesh Renders, Blood Shredders of Khorne. So yeah, in comparison to the other boys, they have a little bit more leadership, a little bit more melee attack, and a little bit more melee defense. I feel like I'm like repeating myself every single time we do this, but it seems to be the same stats buffed there. They also have this strength from flesh, so as long as they are in melee, they get regeneration, which is good. It heals them over time, so like quite literally eating the flesh out of the enemies while in melee. And then they've also got the Rip and Tear passive ability, which as long as no large enemies are in range, which is again another cool premise there. Obviously trying to pick out units which are obviously large, or near a large unit. So yeah, quite cool there. They get a bonus, infinite bonus to base weapon damage, armor piercing, and a bonus to his infantry. So as long as there's nothing large nearby, like they'll do well if there is something large nearby, but as long as there isn't anything large nearby, they're going to tear the infantry apart even more. So yeah, really cool. This thing's skill scheme looks really great. We'll get into that in a second. So moving on to another Stegodon here, we've got the Behemoth Khorne with the War Shrine in the back of him. What is this thing? That is great. Little sinks there. Just the what if scenario here. Just the amount of stories I'm making up in my head as to why they're here and what they're thinking, sort of thing. Jesus. So yeah, tier 5. They are armored, armor piercing, and anti-infantry. The speed is only down there because of the terrain they're on, but it's fine. Looking at stats, absolutely glorious. 500 weapons, missile strength with AP, weapon strength, AP with bonus to his infantry, flame attacks on the range. So yeah, all around not too bad. Some really cool different abilities here, like Favour of Ruinous Powers, gives them more leadership and immune psychology, Totem with Endless Bloodlet in, leadership and vigor reduction for all allies in range, Giver of Furious Glory, affects all allies in range, and it depends on entity deaths around him, which gives more melee attack, more AP, and more base weapon damage. Yeah, really good. So a support dinosaur, but also a terrifying one at the same time. Moving on to the Rage Bearer. Just look at this cool scheme. Look at it's got like a blue mouth. Look at that. Really like that. Obviously a little bit more orangey and yellow, more so than the red and blacks we've been seeing for the most part here. And the blue mouth is an interesting choice. So yeah, the Rage Bearer, very similar obviously here. He does actually have an active ability here you can use, which is a wind spell called Khorne's Burning Hatred. So yeah, nice little... it also does contact, so it'll do damage base, which is AP, flame, and magical, which is insane. But then also does an additional damage over time with the blood flame contact effect, which is really nice. And then if you look here, comparing the stats, it has more leadership, more speed, more melee attack, more melee defense, and more missile strength. So yeah, all round not too bad. And as for active ability, abilities down here, the only thing it actually really changes, I believe, is the Khorne's Burning Hatred there. And finally, moving on to the last two naughty boys, we've got the Dread Saurians, or at least in this one, the Blood Saurian of Khorne. So yeah, moving on to the base version, which looks absolutely beautiful in all its cornic glory. Look at the like pauldrons and stuff like that. Looking really nice. Wow. Okay, chill. The golden spikes on its head as well. Loving it, the horns and stuff like that. Yeah, beautiful. Armoured, causes terror and armour piercing. Stats, yeah, looking great. He's a wall breaker, which is nice. Foul moving, siege attacker, all around, yeah. AP through the roof. Weapon strength 750, yeah. Armour 130. 14,000, nearly 15,000 health. Yeah, ridiculously good. Ridiculously good unit. And then moving finally on to the Regiment of Renowned. I love this thing. God, can you just imagine fighting this? Jesus. Look at that. That little jaw armour he's got on is great. So yeah, here's Khorne's Final Judgment. Blood Saurian of Khorne. Let's compare the stats then. In comparison, it has a little bit more leadership, a little bit more melee attack, a little bit more melee defense, and a quite considerable amount of missile strength there up as well. It also has magical attacks on its melee in comparison to its base version not having them. And then having a look at stats, it has this thing here called Unstoppable Carnage. So it increases, the intensity increases with each kill made by the unit, so it has to have kills. It doesn't rely on obviously other units doing it for it or deaths nearby or whatever, so it has to actively kill things. But I mean, looking at the stats, I'm sure it'll be able to. And as it does that, it has a heal per second, so it actually regenerates. The more it kills, the more health it gets back. Base weapon damage up to 50% base weapon damage. Armor piercing weapon damage up to 50% AP as well. Physical resistance up to 25, and then also the vigor reduction there, minus 1%. So it's going to make itself less tired, heal, and just be an absolute powerhouse the more it kills, which is ridiculously good. And there we go. That is the end of our mod showcase of these naughty cornate lizard boys. Again, the mod will be in the description below. I would love to do a little bit of a battle showcase here, but I assure you the mod has been long enough, and you could only assume the amount of power these boys would do and just rip apart some boys. So with that being said, of course, go try out the mod yourself, check it out. It's a glorious mod. Funnily enough, there is actually a reskin mod for this, which just reskins it and all the lizardmen units without adding this faction or any of these units. It just reskins the base versions. So if you wanted to like use your lizardmen and get dressed up for Halloween, then there is also like a sub mod for just a reskin, which is cool. Nothing else changes, just complete reskin. Again, I'll link that in the description as well, to be fair. It could be pretty funny if you wanted a bit of a trick-or-treat lizardmen Khorne dressed up. But yeah, there we go. If you have enjoyed the video, please do leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And otherwise, this glorious boy will be coming to your door on Halloween and eating all your sweets. Or candy if you're American. Alright, much love. I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye!